APW faithful, we are in for a treat. One-on-one action. Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb takes on the Supreme Juggernaut, JR Kratos.
In for a treat. I think the APW faithful and everybody who came out tonight to pay tribute to Roland Alexander are in for a feast, because we're about to watch two of the most physically dominant men in all of All Pro Wrestling's history go to war.
And of course, Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb, accompanied to the ring by John LaRocca, who a very storied past here at APW. AJ Kirsch joining me in the broadcast booth. JJ Burnham here. What can you tell me about the tutelage that John is offering to Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb?
Well, JJ, if you remember correctly, I've been under the tutelage of Johnny LaRocca for quite some time. He was the manager of a little tag team you might remember by the name of Ego. Myself and Nathan Rules were All Pro Wrestling tag team champions for a year and a half, undefeated, I might add, for quite some time. Johnny LaRocca brings a knowledge, a precision to coaching, a talent unmatched by anyone I've ever experienced. But right now, Jeff Cobb, as we see the entrance of the awesome JR Kratos, Jeff Cobb, Mr. Athletic, he's going to need to use every bit of that tutelage, because as precise as Johnny LaRocca is, as athletic as Jeff Cobb is, JR Kratos is that much dominant.
It has to be said, JR Kratos, the Supreme Juggernaut, is exactly that. Look up the dictionary, what a juggernaut is. This guy has literally run roughshod through APW. At one time, had his hands, had his fingers on the APW Universal Heavyweight Championship, only to have it ripped away from him by a lawyer and the golden boy Dylan Drake.
Well, I think it's a safe bet that that's not going to be the last time JR Kratos touches All Pro Wrestling Universal Heavyweight Championship gold. It's just a matter of time before that belt is back in his hands, but this is not a title match. Right now, we're going to see a contest between two of the absolute best NorCal has ever seen, and the All Pro Wrestling Garage is ready to see these guys get it on.
And we just await the official bell. Toby Reynolds has the job of the official for this contest.
Great show of respect between these two athletes as this contest is officially underway.
The APW faithful in attendance with an APW chant. God, I wish that Roland Alexander was here to see the turnout, to see the capacity crowd that has shown up, and the wrestlers in the back to show the love that they want to show this man.
I guarantee you, JJ, Roland Alexander has the best seat in the house right now. And I got a feeling he's got a huge smile on his face.
Look at that.
Right now, Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb trying to use that athleticism to his advantage and trying to out-wrestle JR Kratos, but Kratos, using that size and leverage, has Cobb in a rear chin, now to a rear waist.
Yeah, Cobb's athletic ability and his Olympic training is one thing. I mean, it says that what an incredible athlete it is. But how do you prepare? Look at that.
Look at that strength.
Phenomenal show of strength from Jeff Cobb. But how do you prepare for a nearly 300-pound monster?
Well, Jeff Cobb, I mean, he's a former Olympian. He's an Olympic athlete. I think there's no more exhaustive training in the world than when you're training for the Olympic Games, which is rightly recognized as the greatest stage of athletics in the world. But Jeff Cobb, I don't know if he's ever been in the ring with somebody who can match him physically as far as strength goes with JR Kratos.
But you've got to put your hands together right now for Jeff Cobb. I have never seen JR Kratos actually handled quite like this.
Well, I wouldn't say he's getting manhandled right now. Both men are still in the feeling out process. I don't think anyone has a distinct advantage right now. Kratos secures a rear waistlock. And look at that, a Russian roll. Taking a page out of Jeff Cobb's book, but rope break. Action stops momentarily as referee Toby Reynolds creates some space and both men back up to their feet.
Well, it's got to be said, a lot of people look at the man and don't know that he can actually wrestle. I mean, really wrestle.
Who are you referring to, JJ?
To JR Kratos.
Kratos can actually wrestle, but I don't think it's a very wise idea for Kratos to try to go hold for hold with Jeff Cobb. I think Kratos has got to stick with what brought him to this dance, his strength, his size, and his just freakish ability. A great example. Whoa!
With that kept up after the shoulder tackle, and Cobb attempting the sleeper. He can't quite get up on the back.
No, he has not secured the sleeper, but just nipping up after that vicious shoulder tackle, I think eventually it's going to get in the head of JR Kratos, because usually the strength of JR Kratos puts people down for good, but Cobb just nips up after that huge shoulder tackle.
Kratos trying to break the hold. The momentum took Cobb to the outside, and Kratos follows it right up. Both men right out in the war zone.
I don't think you want to get in a slugfest with JR Kratos. But the longer this match goes, JJ, I think the more it goes in Jeff Cobb's favor. Whoa.
Face plant right on the canvas. You alluded to it a moment ago, the conditioning, that Olympic-style conditioning that Jeff Cobb had beaten into him in his training. He's absolutely brought it to the pro wrestling game.
Well, he has as far as his physical conditioning is concerned, his mental conditioning. He's as strong mentally as he is physically. But Olympians are not trained to take the kind of abuse that happens in a pro wrestling ring. Olympians are not trained to take the kind of abuse that JR Kratos dishes day in and day out pretty regularly and without mercy.
And this match went from a scientific wrestling match to a moment ago falling apart on the outside.
Well, this match is still unfolding on the outside. Again, we saw a catch-as-catch-can match just moments ago, and now it's degenerated into a slugfest. But I think, like I said, the longer this match goes, the more it favors Jeff Cobb, and I think his wrestling acumen is ultimately going to be what he relies on if he wants to pull out a victory against JR Kratos.
Big forearm shot from Cobb. Cobb
wow!
With a very nice drop kick right to the chin of JR Kratos. Lateral press with a grapevine. Gets himself a 2 count.
Picture perfect drop kick lands right on the point of the jaw of JR Kratos. But to be honest, I think it more stunned him than anything else. He's going to have to hit him with some far more impactful maneuvers if he wants to put Kratos down for 3. Look at that athleticism by JR Kratos.
Nice agility with a sunset flip.
Whoa! Got his shoulder up at the very last second. Very long 2 count. And I got to be honest, I was not expecting that kind of athleticism from JR Kratos.
Cobb with a running knee and then follows it up with a drop kick. The agility in question, but he is a phenomenal wrestler. Look at that. Jeff Cobb.
God.
Look at the strength of Jeff Cobb.
He's holding him up on his chest like he was just just dumps him right behind him. Unbelievable strength from Jeff Cobb.
Oh,
standing shooting star press.
Nicely done.
There's a cover hook of the leg, but only 2.
Cobb held up nearly 300 pounds for upwards of 30 seconds and then followed up with a phenomenal standing shooting star press.
Not just held up. He didn't just hold up JR Kratos. He threw him over his head like he was nothing.
And Cobb is doing what John LaRocca has taught him, staying on top of JR Kratos.
Going back to that unbelievable athleticism, and I mean, aptly named Mr. Athletic Jeff Cobb, but doesn't seem to have enough strength to get Kratos up. But Kratos lifts Jeff up.
Oh, and he drops back down to his feet, does Cobb. Again, attempting that suplex.
He's got him up.
Look at that.
Oh, but he can't deliver.
Kratos too large.
Kratos shaking his head.
Both men struggling, jockeying for that suplex right now. It's a test of wills. Oh, dropped on his feet.
German suplex, and Jeff Cobb landed awkwardly on his left shoulder. Kratos right there to roll into a cover. If he can make that cover, this one could be over.
Kratos with the release German cover.
Nope, only 2.
What a hell of a match we are seeing here at the Memorial. Roland Alexander show. I'm completely shocked at the athleticism both men are showing here in the APW Garage.
You know, by now I should be used to both of these men impressing me on a regular basis, but even now, these guys are pulling out maneuvers, counters that have me just dumbfounded. Kratos has Jeff Cobb in a Dragon Sleeper. Looks like he's calling for a final cut. Cobb reverses.
Oh my goodness!
I thought he was going to dump him with a front power slam, but he rotates, gets him with the power slam, drapes the arm over. There's a cover, 2, and no, only 2.
Cobb dropping Kratos right on the back of his head and drapes the arm over, failed to grapevine the leg, only gets himself a 2 count. Incredibly done from Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb is dragging Kratos to the corner, calling for a shooting star press. Standing, it's devastating enough from Jeff Cobb from the top. I would think that this one's got to be over.
The one-time Young Lions Cup winner going to the top in the world-famous APW Garage. Oh, nobody home! JR Kratos out of the way.
And he's got his hand up. He's thinking about it. He's got him goozled. He's got the leg hooked.
And he sits out with it.
1, 2, and 3, it's over.
The Supreme Juggernaut gets a huge, absolutely huge victory over Jeff Cobb in the Garage.
JR Kratos comes away with the win, but neither of these men have anything to be ashamed of. This was an extremely hard-fought match, and one that I know Roland Alexander would be proud of.
APW faithful, it has been a pleasure just thus far to be a part of this incredible broadcast, and the incredible people who have come out to show a little love to Roland Alexander.
JJ, it's been a thrill to call a contest tonight. I'm going to be back a little bit later on, but I'm going to turn it over right now. Again, JR Kratos, your winner, but both men celebrating the life of Roland Alexander with an absolutely phenomenal match.
Absolutely. AJ, thank you very much. I'm going to step out as well.
Thanks, Joe. Don't want to take too much of your time. It's a lot of matches come, a lot of great talent to come on still, but
Holy shit.
here on Tuesday, when I got the news about Roland, and started reflecting on a lot of things in my life, about who all the people I met. And I was kind of just scanning through all my albums on Facebook and just kind of going through all the memories. And I went to my wedding album and all my 8 groomsmen that we have. We had a big wedding. And they're all people that I met through APW, through Roland Alexander. And today I have all these great friends, family, brothers, sisters. 2 of them out there right now, Tiffany and Michelle. Roland gave me an opportunity to be a manager, color commentator, but my biggest passion has always been the creative end of this business, and got to do it for a long time here and put on some great shows and a lot of great matches. And Roland never interfered with anything I wanted to do. He wanted to make my own mistakes. And I really appreciate that because I learned so much on my own, and just by him not telling me anything. And he will jump in every once in a while, but he always asked if I learned. Roland never stopped teaching. Roland taught everyone, and a lot of times he rubbed people the wrong way, but he didn't do it because he's being an asshole. He did it because he wanted everyone to succeed. No matter he knew they were going to make it all the way to the top or not, he still wanted to do the best of their ability. And Roland's a great man. I love him to death. He is like a father to me. I'm going to miss our 2-hour-long conversations on the phone. I promise you, Roland, me and Marcus will continue those for you. And I love you. Thank you, Roland. Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, I just want to take this time. There's nothing that I can say that hasn't been said. Roland has touched so many lives, including mine. I'm not from APW, didn't train here, but he took me in like one of his own. You are now. You are now. Like I said, I don't want to take any time. The only thing is I can say is that I love you, Roland, and I'm going to miss you sitting right there every time I come out and see your face. I love you, brother. Thank you for everything you've done for me, my father, and my family. Thank you. I got one more request. I want everybody in here, for the big man, the Godfather here, chant his name one more time. Roland!